What's going on, guys? Billy here, and today we're going to be taking a look at what makes the Mavic 2 Enterprise so much different from the Mavic 2 Zoom. I've got them both here. They're actually sitting behind me right now. I've been flying them side by side for about 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, and I've got to say that there's a much bigger difference than you'd expect. Now, from the surface, you wouldn't know much of a difference between the two drones except for the red bands on the arms and the Enterprise branding. You, of course, also have the mount on top for the attachments, which are fed power from the micro USB port and are locked in place by 2 screw mounts. I'd say that this is the biggest feature that sets the Mavic 2 Enterprise apart from the Mavic 2 Zoom, with the current attachments that are available being the light beacon, the spotlight, and the speaker. But we aren't going to be focusing on these in this video, as we'll be talking more about the main differences between the Mavic 2 Zoom and the Mavic 2 Enterprise. With the rest of the changes between these two drones being internal and software related, I want to start out with what I believe might be one of the biggest differences between the Mavic 2 Enterprise and the Mavic 2 Zoom, and that is the companion application used. Now, with newer DJI drones like the Inspire 2, the Phantom 4 series, and the Mavics, we use the DJI Go 4 app, which has a plethora of features like intelligent flight modes and quick shots. But with the Enterprise line of the Mavic 2, we use a different app called DJI Pilot, which, from what I've heard, has been crashing a lot on iOS, but I haven't had a single issue in my time with this drone. Anyway, you'll notice right off of the bat that the layout is familiar, but things feel a little bit different. I personally think it looks cleaner, but for those of you who are looking for the automated features like active track and quick shots like Droney, they are not available on this drone. The whole left side of the screen is completely blank, and the on-display camera values are nowhere to be found, whereas with the Mavic 2 Zoom, we can see our camera values in the top right corner, and there are a few different options on the left side, with the main one being this controller icon that gives us access to the intelligent flight modes. So right off of the bat, you get a sense that the Mavic 2 Enterprise is much more of a workhorse drone rather than a cinema drone used by photographers and filmmakers. The DJI Pilot app seems to be like a stripped down version of the DJI Go app, which is something I actually like. It gives you everything that you need to operate your drone manually for commercial purposes and then some. The DJI Pilot application also comes with a lot of great features, such as password protection for your drone to make sure that unauthorized users don't have access to your files stored on the drone and ultimately can't pilot your drone. There's also DJI AirSense, which gives you the real-time location of nearby manned aircraft and allows them to see you, further increasing flight safety. We also have GPS timestamping on photos, as it shows you your latitudinal and longitudinal location at all times right on the home screen. And the final difference is a new menu within the settings tab, which allows you to control the different settings for whatever you have attached on the top of your Mavic 2 Enterprise. As I always preach in a lot of my videos, learning how to manually operate your drone will take you a long way, and you're not going to get much help from the Mavic 2 Enterprise as it lacks those automated flight features. There is one in particular I would have loved to see make its way over to the Pilot application, and that is Tap to Fly. With the Mavic 2 Enterprise being used heavily for search and rescue missions, it'd be easy for the pilot to just tap on the screen, have the drone fly forward by itself, and then focus looking on the ground for whoever or whatever they're trying to find. I mean, often you're surveying or looking in very large areas, very open areas, and just have the drone flying by itself really could be beneficial to the pilot. Now, this could be a deal breaker for some people. Remember, this drone is being marketed to search and rescue operators, law enforcement, people who are using this drone for commercial purposes and not for photographers or filmmakers. And if you're someone who thought, hey, I'll buy the Mavic 2 Enterprise, have those cool attachments on top, take it with me on vacation here and there, you might want to think twice about that. Continuing on with the internal improvements, the Mavic 2 Enterprise comes equipped with 24 gigabytes of onboard storage compared to the mere 8 gigabytes of onboard storage on the Mavic 2 Zoom. This lets us shoot roughly 10.5 minutes of 4K video, whereas the Mavic 2 Enterprise allows us to shoot roughly 31 minutes of 4K video. You can also store a lot more video on here if you shoot in a low resolution like 1080p, and being able to store more footage is definitely going to be beneficial to someone who is, say, using this drone for search and rescue operations, as they can usually take a full day or a full night, and being able to store more is always better. Don't forget, anything stored on this drone can also be password protected, which is priceless to certain companies that want to keep their data protected. Also, I really wish that they'd give us more storage on, say, like the Mavic 2 Zoom, because 8 gigabytes kind of seems worthless. Another change to the Mavic 2 Enterprise is a brand new feature called the discrete mode, which allows you to fly your drone with none of the LEDs turned on. Now with the Mavic 2 Zoom, you're able to turn off those two front red head LEDs, but the back LEDs, the status indicators, are always going to be blinking no matter what. Here's the thing, I dug through the DJI Pilot application and I cannot find out how to turn on discrete mode. I swear I looked for about an hour and a half, so it comes to my belief that either DJI just hasn't implemented this yet, or somehow I've skipped over it like 10 or 20 times. Now I thought to myself, why would anybody want to use discrete mode? It actually is probably a safety hazard to other manned aircraft in the area. But they say on their website that it's more for people like law enforcement or governments that want to conduct missions without being seen, which I totally get. I wish I could show you guys what discrete mode looks like, but again, unfortunately, I just cannot find it within the DJI Pilot app. Another big change with the Mavic 2 Enterprise Zoom is in the camera. It's nothing crazy, it's no brand new hardware, it's the same camera, but it's just a tweak in the software, kind of like we've been seeing throughout this video. Now the Mavic 2 Zoom has 2x optical zoom, so you can zoom in 2x for lossless quality, and then you can zoom in another 2x digitally, giving you 4x total zoom. This is done when shooting in 1080p. You'll notice that as I zoom all the way in, I can get a great look at things that are further away. The video quality is alright, but it gets the job done if you need to get a look for inspection purposes. Now switching over to the Mavic 2 Enterprise here, we were able to digitally zoom in even further, a full 6x to be exact. Hovering in the same exact spot, I can get an even closer look at objects further away, which as I already stated, would be perfect for roof inspections or maybe even power line inspections. While this drone doesn't have thermal imaging, which is pretty important when it comes to things like that, you can get a really close look with this drone while staying away from any potential danger of crashing. Now, as we begin to wrap things up here, I figured I'd mention one small change, and that is to the battery life. With the Mavic 2 Enterprise, we can expect roughly 25 minutes of flight time when using any of the 3 modular accessories that go on top. Now, there's a lot of variables that can really affect how much flight time you're actually going to get when using these accessories, but on average, it's around 25 minutes, and you're not going to expect that full 31 minutes like the Mavic 2 Zoom or just using the Mavic 2 Enterprise with no attachments on top. The final change between the Mavic 2 Enterprise and the Mavic 2 Zoom is the battery, and when looking at them side by side, you would think that there is no difference, but the batteries that come with the Mavic 2 Enterprise are self-heated, which is perfect for flying in cold conditions. I fly the Inspire 2 almost every single day, and as some of the colder months approach, it really does help to have these self-heating batteries, as when I'm using other drones like my Phantom 4 Pro or my Mavic 2 Pro, and the battery is so cold, it won't even let me take off, and I'm sitting there on the ground for a while as it tries to heat itself up. So these self-heating batteries really are a lifesaver. They can be used with the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic 2 Zoom. So if you get a hold of, say, an Enterprise battery, a self-heating battery, you're able to use them with any Mavic 2 drone, but they are going to be $30 more expensive than those original batteries. So guys, that is pretty much everything that is different between the Mavic 2 Enterprise and the Mavic 2 Zoom. I know a lot of people are probably thinking, what's the big deal about this drone? Instead of spending $1,249 for the Mavic 2 Zoom, you're spending $2,000, $1,999 for the Mavic 2 Enterprise, and a lot of people will be bummed that it doesn't have those intelligent flight features, but coming from me as a commercial pilot, I really can appreciate the Mavic 2 Enterprise and everything that it has to offer. Now, just like the Mavic 2 Zoom, it's still got Oxygen 2.0, it's still got the same top speed, it still has 31 minutes of flight time without using the modular accessories. It also still has APAS, which allows you to basically avoid obstacles. The drone will avoid obstacles by itself. So there's still all the great features that come with the Mavic 2 Zoom in the Mavic 2 Enterprise. You're just paying more for those modular accessories as well as a lot of the new features that the DJI Pilot application introduces. Anyway, guys, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Be sure to let me know down in the comment section what you think of both of these drones and if you think the Mavic 2 Enterprise is worth it. And as always, I'll talk to you later. Peace.